Hello everyone, my name is Lois Soya Jamang and this is my Assessment 1 presentation for Quantitative Research in Education. So self-efficacy refers to a student's belief whether they're able to accomplish desired outcomes and successfully execute a particular task. So when we see that a student has higher self-efficacy, it often means that they approach tasks with less anxiety and may even often put more effort in order to achieve their goals. And student satisfaction is also very important because it can actually lead to how attentive a student is in class and also can be used to influence um, faculty effectiveness and is often influenced by quality of service, educational fees, and many other forms that could affect student academic satisfaction. However, the key question is, how significantly do self-efficacy and course satisfaction impact university students' academic performances? So, to answer our question, this academic quantitative study aims to examine how independent variables, that is the self-efficacy and course satisfaction, influences performance of university students, that is the dependent variable, and maybe is also considering the impact of the demographic factors like age and gender. So for this quantitative research, we're having two hypotheses. One, that there is a significant positive correlation between self-efficacy and academic performance. Two, there is a significant positive correlation between satisfaction and academic performance. So for our methodology, participants, there is a total of 100 participants that are involved in this study. And also the participants are usually arranged between 19 to 24 years old. We see that the gender distribution is basically 33 male and 67 females. And also all of the participants are enrolled in various courses, that is math, English, and education. So for the methodology for the measure, we are using the Leonard scale questionnaire, which has three items. Basically, three of the items are related to academic satisfaction, three are related to self-efficacy, and three of them are related to academic performances. And we're arranging it from between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So lastly, for this measure, we're using Pearson's correlation, which is a measure that is used to assess the relationship between the three variables in this study. But basically how we use this method is we measure the strength and direction of the linear relationship between two variables. So we're breaking down and measuring it 2 by 2. The strength and existence of the correlation is also dependent on the coefficient R, which ranges from -1 to +1. So for the results, descriptive statistics, the sample is relatively harmonious in terms of age, which might mean that the findings are generally relevant to this specific age group, but maybe not too much for the broader population. Maybe thus the a normal distribution curve of the age is significantly higher. The self-efficacy and satisfaction scores are almost identical in terms of their average, which could hint at a relationship between these two variables, though further analysis would be needed. And the standard deviation for the self-efficacy, satisfaction, and performance suggests that there is some variabilities in the scores, but there is no extreme differences. So that's why we get this normal distribution of the satisfaction, self-efficacy, and performance in our graph before you. So satisfaction total has a Pearson correlation coefficient of 0.38 with performance total. So this correlation indicates a moderate positive relationship between academic satisfaction and academic performance. So interestingly, self-efficacy total has a Pearson correlation coefficient of 0.574 with performance total. So this means that they have a very strong positive relationship and 0.01 level, which means that it's more unlikely that it is due to chance. So when we see between self-efficacy total and satisfaction total, we also see like a strong correlation, which is 0.395. So this moderate positive relationship between the two variables shows that it is less likely due to chance because they have a correlation of 0.01 level. However, when we see between the age and performance and their relationship, we see that it's negatively coinherent, which means that there's a slight negative linear relationship. So it's very close to zero, indicating that this relationship is extremely weak. So it suggests that age is not a very strong predictor of performance, or at least in this sense. So this quantitative study investigated various variables, including age, self-efficacy, satisfaction, performance across different gender and courses. So one of the key findings was that self-efficacy and satisfaction are significant predictors of academic performances. This is widely seen, and now with this research we've been able to prove that significantly higher levels of self-efficacy and satisfaction was associated with academic performance. So gender did not necessarily impact any of the variables that were studied, and the age of the participant didn't really correlate significantly with the performance in academia. However, we see limitations with this research, suggesting that there is lack of longitudinal data, which means that because this is only a cross-sectional study, it only provides a snapshot of like a certain time. So longitudinal data would be a better understanding of how self-efficacy and satisfaction may influence performance over time. I also believe that correlation does not necessarily show causation, while Pearson's correlation definitely helped show us like the relationship between the two. It does not establish like their cause of reason. For example, we don't know if higher self-efficacy leads to higher self-satisfaction or vice versa. So that's one of the suggestions that I would make as limitations of this subject, this research. Uncontrolled variables. So this study does not seem to account for any other variables that could influence academic performances, such as socioeconomic status, maybe previous academic performance or teaching quality, and gender distribution. So that seems to be a bit skewed with more females than males. So this imbalance could necessarily affect the generalization of the research. So for future researches, I would like to expand the sample. So future studies could benefit from a larger, more diverse sample size to enhance the generalizability of the findings. And I would like to incorporate more additional variables like understanding emotional intelligence, maybe mental health, economic status could be included. I believe that culture, as well as who knows, variables like procrastination or perfectionism could also be an interesting variable to delve deeper into. I would say, just like I mentioned earlier, like a more longitudinal design could provide more insight on how these more variables like self-efficacy, satisfaction could impact over time, and experimental manipulation. So for future studies could look more into designs which would help us see if enhancing self-efficacy or enhancing another variable like satisfaction could lead to more improved academic performance. Therefore, for this conclusion, this study explores the link between academic performance, self-efficacy, and satisfaction in university students that has an age group of 19 to 24. So our data revealed a moderate to very strong correlation between these variables, although causation was not exactly confirmed. So this study confirmed that there was a relationship, and thus my hypothesis has been proven. However, we see that the limitations are there due to like small and age-restricted sample, as well as unaccounted influencing factors like economic status or culture. And these gaps pave the way for future researches involving larger and more diverse samples and maybe additional variables. So overall, the findings suggest that enhancing students' self-efficacy and satisfaction may improve academic performances, offering valuable implications for educators and policy makers for the future. Thank you.